Pumpfun has been suspended. Will this affect their ICO raise? Tron is going live as a publicly listed company, and Solana emerges as a top TradFi treasury asset. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz IO, and as always, it's not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Alright, good morning you guys. So Bitcoin pretty much did exactly what we didn't want to happen yesterday. We came above here, but we did not close above here. We closed underneath this level, and so this level of 107 has acted as resistance. There's a couple of reasons to that, but this is exactly what we didn't want to happen. It is now creating a lower high, and if things don't change, this is just a series of lower highs, which will probably take us down underneath this wick of $102,000, unless something changes and some major news comes out, which is possible. It's entirely possible, but it doesn't look great right now. This was acting as a level of resistance, which we wanted to flip to support, but didn't happen yesterday. So one of the main reasons behind this, and I'm no geopolitical expert, I just wanted to share what is actually happening that led to this. So this was mostly news yesterday, where we had first over 30 U.S. refueling tankers took off overnight. That doesn't happen without a major operation in motion. So this is between Israel and Iran, and potentially the U.S. getting involved and all this stuff. Next, the USS Nimitz carried strike group is suddenly rerouted to Middle East ahead of a schedule. Then the State Department issues a stark warning. U.S. citizens unable to leave Iran should be prepared to shelter in place for an extended period of time. Shortly after, Pete Hegseth announces, I directed the deployment of additional capabilities to CENTCOM, and now Trump drops the hammer. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran in Iran. So this happened yesterday, and when this happened, the price dropped a lot. And then Trump was also at the G7 summit in Canada, and then went back to the U.S. early. So that's pretty much why the price fell heavily yesterday. Everything is very news-based right now. There's also de-risking as we have retail sales today, and we have FOMC, the Fed's, a meeting tomorrow. So I'm sure there's, between the war issues and the Fed meeting tomorrow, there's a lot of reason to de-risk in the markets. So the markets are de-risking, and I'm sure we won't have any kind of clear, we won't have any kind of clear direction for a little bit. So this market is very hard to trade with just news, news headlines dictating the price. But we did have Michael Saylor buying $1.05 billion of Bitcoin at around $104,000. They now hold $63.73 billion of Bitcoin. We also have Michael saying Bitcoin historically hits local or cycle tops with long-term holders start to sell their coins to new market entrants. We're not seeing any signs of this in the data today. In fact, the long-term holder supply is up 4% over the last 3 months. In addition to the vote of confidence from long-term holders, the ETFs have seen over $9 billion of inflows over the last 2 months. Over that period, there are only 7 days of net outflows. And so we can see here the Bitcoin total supply held by long-term holders is gradually going up with the price. Now that's the that's the kind of sad thing about this is, the price wants to go up, but it's just heavily driven by news headlines. So as soon as these news headlines subside and these fears start dissipating, Bitcoin wants to take off towards 120, very quickly. So as soon as that happens, I do think we make new highs very soon. We also have permanent holder demand is accelerating. The signal often precedes Bitcoin rallies and reflects long-term conviction. So it's kind of that kind of meme of the beach ball being held underwater, where Bitcoin is being suppressed by these headlines, but as soon as the headlines stop, the beach ball wants to shoot up and skyrocket to new all-time highs. Then we have Metaplanet wants to buy $21.7 billion of Bitcoin. Metaplanet now holds over $1 billion of Bitcoin after acquiring another 117 million of Bitcoin last night. Metaplanet had previously stated they would like to own 1% of the Bitcoin supply by 2027. And we also have Bloomberg analysts saying trillions will flow into Bitcoin ETFs as JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, and big wirehouses come online, saying this.
I think that's the biggest unlocking potential for the Bitcoin ETFs. And a lot of them at these big platforms, these wirehouses, the JP Morgans, the Merrill Lynches, they control trillions of dollars of wealth. They're only just now coming online. And in most cases, there's a lot of restrictions. Like you think, oh, you get an ETF, all of a sudden everyone can invest in it.
Nope.
Think about it, 3 tiers, almost like red, yellow, green. Red light is, I don't care what you're doing. On our platform, you cannot touch a Bitcoin ETF. Then a lot of ETFs are in this middle ground where it's like, if the client specifically asks to buy a Bitcoin ETF, you can do it for them. Or if you clients like certain levels of wealth and risk ability to take risks and desire to take risks, they have a certain amount of assets with us, then you can buy some of the Bitcoin ETFs for them. And this is called solicited versus unsolicited. So if you come to me, I'm your RA, you ask for it, then I can do it. But I can't be like, I think you should put 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. The final level is when it's solicited, and I can basically solicit to you and say, I think you should put this in your portfolio. Right now, the vast majority of the assets are in that middle ground. There's still trillions of dollars of assets in those wirehouses, in those wealth platforms you were talking about, that are either at the red or yellow level. And we're seeing an unlocking of more people going up that ladder towards allowing things to be approved for buying of the end investors. And I think that's the biggest unlocking potential for the Bitcoin ETFs. And we've seen a lot of flows coming in these ETFs. And I think when we get the 13F report from June 30th, which we'll get in August, we'll see a lot more RAs that have come online and buying this for their clients.
And then moving on, we have Justin Sun's Tron to go public in US via reverse merger with NASDAQ-listed SRM Entertainment as SEC pauses fraud probe. So the deal is backed by Trump Link Investment Bank and will form Tron Inc., with Eric Trump expected to take a role. However, Eric Trump then came and said afterwards, I'm the biggest fan of Tron and love Justin Sun. He's a great friend and an icon in the crypto space. That said, the below is inaccurate. I don't have public involvement in this company, which is kind of a weird way to say things. I don't have public involvement. Does he have private involvement? It's kind of an odd way to phrase it. Either way, we also have Tron is making moves. $210 million reverse merger to go public on NASDAQ. Tron is up 10%, $55.7 million in 30-day revenue, and $694.5 billion USDT transfers in May, aligning with Eric Trump and adopting MicroStrategy style reverses. All-time high incoming for TRX. We also have World Liberty Finance saying the takeover continues, the first USD1 minted on Tron, just the beginning of something much bigger. Appreciate the support from Justin Sun. Let's bring USD1 everywhere. And that is their stablecoin USD1. And we also have Look On Chain saying in the past 7 days, stablecoins USDT and USDC on Tron increased by 1.38 billion, and stablecoins on Avalanche decreased by 768 million. So Tron has been seeing huge stablecoin inflows. Now, Tron's one of the coins, I mean, this is the pump yesterday. So this is the pump on the news yesterday, but then it reversed because of war headlines. But it still looks like it wants to go up. I mean, it's stronger than other coins today. It's up 1.77%, as everything else is down about 2 to 3% on the day. So it's still going up. But if we zoom out to this chart, this is not the chart you trade. This is the chart you buy and you hold for a long period of time, because while it is steadily up, it is the most choppy and kind of unforgiving chart to kind of just trade on the short term. Look at this. This is just nonstop chop for months and years. So while it does go up, it is very, very tough to trade this. So if you want to buy Tron, I recommend just buying and holding for a long period of time. I think, with their ties now to the Trump family, they're probably going to do something big over the coming years. So Tron's probably a pretty good buy. It's just, you don't want to be trading this. So if you're going to do anything with it, you're going to want to be buying at spot. And at these levels, it's a pretty decent level. We're kind of at support, but I will say, with the headlines we have going on right now, anything's possible. We could dump back down. So anything around, we're at 27.8 right now. If we come back down to around 26.5, that's probably a pretty good buy as this level of support here. But it does look like it's one of the stronger ones. So not much to do for Tron. And then moving on to Solana, we have DeFi Dev Corp named the top Solana treasury pick by Wall Street giant Cantor Fitzgerald. They see a 74.9% upside, leading all Solana treasury firms. So what happened was, actually, Marty Party has a pretty good explanation. So Cantor Fitzgerald, which is a Wall Street giant, has shown significant interest in the Solana blockchain, particularly through its investment and research activities as of June 2025. So Cantor initiated coverage on Solana-focused firms like DeFi Development Corp, which is DFDV, UPEX, which is UPXI, and Sol Strategies, which we've covered before, without performance ratings. They argue that Solana-oriented balance sheets deserve higher premiums than Bitcoin-focused companies due to Solana's native revenue opportunities like DeFi, NFTs, and dApps, and higher volatility, which can amplify returns. So they're basically comparing, firms like MicroStrategy buying and holding Bitcoin to firms like DeFi, DeFi Development Corp, which holds Solana as a treasury asset. So specifically, Cantor highlighted DeFi Development as a top pick, projecting almost a 75% upside, citing its strong Solana treasury strategy. Cantor Fitzgerald research asserts that Solana's technology is meaningfully better than Ethereum across key metrics like transaction speed, cost, and scalability, and this bullish stance reflects Solana's high throughput blockchain and low fees, making it attractive for institutional adoption. So we also have Lark Davis saying CoinShares just filed an S1 for a Solana ETF, so potentially a lot of Solana ETFs coming out of this as well. Then at the same time, we have multiple crypto-based platforms have been suspended on X, including BullX, Pumpfun, GMGN, and more. Is this an attack on crypto? So we have Pumpfun out. Founder Alon in the platform got suspended on X, part of a wider meme coin purge, hitting GMGN, Bloom, BullX, and more. Rumors say it's all tied to an unpaid API. That hyped $1 billion token raise might be dead on arrival. the Solana casino losing tables fast. So while I don't think this is the end for Pumpfun, I think this might have had maybe a little bit of a hit to their raise for $1 billion, although probably good for Solana because they were selling off Solana to raise the $1 billion. But overall, Solana is pretty much, just in a continued downtrend. Like we were saying yesterday, we'd rather buy it somewhere between 142 and around 135. And the way the structure is here, we are in a downtrend. We're making these lower highs here. And so I wouldn't be too surprised if we do come down here towards this 135 level at some point soon, corresponding with Bitcoin's price going down. So nothing to do just yet. I'd be patient here and I'd wait for lower prices around this next level of support, because I do think we probably get that sooner than later if we continue to get more of these bad headlines coming out. And then we have sentiment saying the XRP ledger is showing serious signs of growth from both a usage and key stakeholder perspective. The amount of interacting XRP addresses has averaged over 295,000 per day over the past week. Its normal daily average over the past 3 months was about 35 to 40,000. Additionally, there are now over 2,700 whale and shark wallets holding at least 1 million XRP for the first time in the asset's 12-year history. So we can see a large number of addresses, shark and whale addresses, holding above over 1 million XRP for the first time, which is massive. We also have Ali Chart saying XRP active addresses reached 1.12 million last week. So there's a lot of new network activity going on with XRP. And we also have Purpose Investments is set to launch the Purpose XRP ETF on the Toronto Stock Exchange Wednesday, June 18th, after receiving final regulatory approval from the OSC. Now, XRP pretty much the same as the rest of the market. We're seeing these, continued lower highs here. I wouldn't be surprised again if we come down to this level here around $2. It has taken a very long time. We've been in this range for what seems like forever. I mean, it's been, what is this? We've been pretty much in this range for almost 200 days now. But I will say that it is good for XRP. As we have been accumulating in this range, it's better for the upside if we create this strong base, because what happens is when we do break out, it becomes a lot harder to break down through this again. So once we break above 260, it's a lot easier to go to all-time highs as we've been distributing and accumulating through this range here. So overall, it's good for XRP that we've been in this range for a long period of time, but it would be nice to eventually break out. But that has to correspond pretty much with Bitcoin breaking out as well. And then with Masari saying Hyperliquid all-time high. So Hyperliquid has been seeing huge growth, especially compared to other coins like ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana in the past 3 months. You can see it's up 185% compared to all these, which are up roughly 20%. Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. We also have Crypto Rank saying Hyperliquid's multi-metric success fuels Hype to new all-time highs. Hype is now trading at $43.60, a new all-time high, backed by record growth across the Hyperliquid ecosystem. In May, Hyperliquid hit $248 billion in monthly port volume and $1.89 billion in Hype futures open interest. Token buybacks, rising whale activity, and a strong community continue to push the project forward. Hyperliquid has established itself as a major player in DeFi and crypto derivatives, now capable of competing head-to-head with industry giants. We also have a full video on this coming out tomorrow, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. We have a full dedicated video talking about Hype and why there's so much hype going on for Hyperliquid right now compared to the rest of the crypto market. Now, overall, Hyperliquid has done what we said it would do, but it is reversing because of the news. So we thought it would come down here towards this $39 level and then break back up to new all-time highs around $45. Although we did think it would consolidate, we thought it would come down here. We thought it would go up, consolidate for a little bit, and then continue higher. Because of the news and headlines, Hype is starting to break down. But it wouldn't be too bad if we then continue to consolidate around this $40 level. If we consolidate around here and then continue higher, that is still totally fine. And I think Hyperliquid is still one of the stronger assets right now and probably the better one to trade and watch. So if we come down towards $39 again and we continue to consolidate here without breaking down, then we are looking pretty good. If we come down here and break down below this level and then we retest it, we are probably going back down into this range here between $31 and $39, which is not ideal. If we hold above this level here and then consolidate, I think we are going probably towards $50 pretty soon, as Hyperliquid is one of the stronger coins in the market and wants to continue higher. So, and then lastly for today, we have Altitude Open's automated DeFi borrowing. So the platform has introduced a first of its kind feature in DeFi, collateral optimized borrowing. So during its private beta phase, Altitude attracted over $5 million in deposits and quietly raised $6.1 million in backing from major Web3 investors, including Tioga Capital, GSR, and Newform Capital. Now the doors are open to anyone looking to manage borrowing more efficiently in an ever-shifting crypto market. Most DeFi users know the pain of having to over-collateralize loans. Borrowing usually requires locking up more capital than needed, often up to 50% more, just to stay safe from market swings, but Altitude changes that. With Altitude, users can deposit Bitcoin or ETH and let the protocol handle rebalancing their loans automatically. If the value of the collateral goes up, Altitude puts that to work to generate yield and lower interest costs. If the price drops, the platform quickly adjusts to protect the loan. The platform's dashboard shows a live view of each user's loan-to-value ratio, or LTV, helping them track the health of their position. And unlike other lending platforms, Altitude gives users the benefit of automation without sacrificing visibility or control. So that is Altitude and DeFi borrowing, and that is the video for today, guys. We are just waiting pretty much for the news headlines to stop. We're waiting for FOMC tomorrow. FOMC is going to be big, so I'm sure there's just going to be a lot of chop until tomorrow to see what happens around 2 p.m. EST when the Fed FOMC meeting happens. So pretty much we're just in a wait zone for tomorrow and after that, and pretty much for these news headlines to subside, because any position we take right now can just immediately get reversed if the wrong headline comes out. So we kind of want to wait for those headlines to dissipate. But that is the video for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.